Hi guys, surprise live. Give me a second, let me make sure my sound is on. Hi guys, surprise live. All right, we have sound. I'm just going to put in a few links here while I'm waiting for people to join us. Hi Regine, sweetheart, how are you? Hi Shannon, haha, nice surprise, well thank you. I'm just putting in some links to some products that I'm going to use. You know, I'm going to use some paint from Robin, and I'm going to use some crusty stuff. Some from Tim Holtz, which is in my Amazon store, and then some from, we're going to use, what do you call it? Darn it, hold on, I lost me. We're going to use some, the world, milk paint. The words are harder and harder to pull up in my memory, you guys, which is not a good thing. Okay, there. I think I've got all the links in. So here's my thought. Here's my process. I have this bird. It's glass. So it's like 5 by 8, like 5 by 8. And I get so mad at myself when I don't remember to take a before picture. It was real dark red and gold, kind of swirly, like marbled. It was different, not my aesthetic at all. Hi, Lori. Hi, sweetheart. Regine, I'm feeling a lot better. My knee feels a lot better. It's still there. It's still talking to me, but not like it was. So, yay. Yeah, for sure. All right, so here's what I did leading up to this. Because the surface of this was super shiny, I sprayed it with a satin crystal clear or any matte, whatever, just to give some tooth to that real shiny stuff. If not, when you go like this, you know, your paint's going to scrape off. So that's what I did. It's kind of like a primer, if you would. And then I painted her with Angel Eyes, which is one of my favorite colors from Robin. And I used mineral paint specifically because milk paint, if you put it on chalk paint, which is very porous, it doesn't crack nearly as well as if you put it on something that's been sealed. Okay, so this has a sealer in it. If this was chalk paint, thank you, Regine. If this was, hi Linda, if this was chalk paint, I would have to seal this with my satin top coat. So by using the mineral paint, I've saved myself a step. Okay, so I gave it a coat everywhere with the mineral paint, which is, I mean, she's beautiful just like that, isn't she? And I'm going to paint her in pink. And so my crackle will be this kind of greenish blue, which I've never really seen before, but I'm hoping it looks good. I don't know. I'm going out on a limb here. I think it's going to look good. So let's talk about milk paint, like kind of my new passion. So I put in a link. These are little sample packs, and believe me, they go a long way, especially if you're doing smalls. Okay, I've painted so much with this flour sack, So they're only $7, which is a slamming deal. And once a month, they pick at Sweet Pickins Milk Paint, they pick a color and they give it to you for $4.50. So it's almost half. So just an FYI. And I just made another order. I bought a bigger flour sack because I can mix this color with anything here and make it lighter. Like I like this. This is O Olive, but it's a little dark for me. I like more that Misty Fjord, you know, lighter. So I can mix this with this and get a real light, pretty color, light green. So that's my thought process there. But this is called First Crush, and it's the perfect shade of soft, soft, soft pink. So I'm going to take, the other day when we did it, I used a whole tablespoon of paint. And I had a lot left over. So maybe I'm going to use not quite a tablespoon. What the heck. Yeah, maybe not quite a tablespoon. And I'm going to put it in my little cup. And then I'm going to take, it's equal parts, powder and water. But I like to put it on a little thicker because you get better cracking that way, has been my experience. So I'm going to put not quite as much liquid. Now, I always do this wrong. You're supposed to put the water in first, and then it mixes better. So I'm going to try to put that over there and then go like this. Okay, I always forget that part. That's what they recommend you do. They say it helps it to blend easier. So we'll see. So now I'm just going to mix this up. I have a craft stick from Dollar Tree. Now the thought is that you let this sit for a minute and it blends and melds all together. I take my stick and I push it against the sides to get all the little powder, little bubbles of powder to break up so it can actually mix with the paint. I can already see that's not going to be enough paint. Is it? No, it's not. So let's put another bit of water and another bit of paint. I'm going to guesstimate. I just guesstimated that, so we'll see what happens. And once you've done this a few times, you'll be able to tell, at least I'm able to tell, if I have the right consistency or not. You want it you don't want it runny. I don't want it runny because I want lots of cracking. So I want it more on the thick side. And as it sits, it thickens up, okay? So when you start out right now, it's like kind of drippy and real runny. But as it sits, it will thicken up. So I don't know what we're going to do for 5 minutes while this sits and thickens up. Oh, we'll talk about the Iron Orchid release. That's what we'll do. Okay, so on Thursday, 2 days away, you guys, Iron Orchid, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's noon Central and 1 Eastern. The oolalashop.com, which I've put a link in the title, will be open for business for the new summer collection of Iron Orchid, and it's beautiful. We're just going to paint this, and then there's a, hi Cheryl, and then there's a couple of beautiful transfers that we can choose from, and I'm going to put transfers all over her. Can't show them to you yet because they're not for public consumption until Thursday, but that's my plan. So I'm just kind of prepping her. But I'm kind of addicted to milk paint, so I wanted to come on and do. I was going to do this by myself, and it's like, no, I'll go ahead and, you know, that last milk paint thing that we did. This, I put that live on my YouTube channel, and in, I don't know, like, I know Regina, I'm very excited as well. And in like 2 days, 2 or 3 days, how long's it been since we did a live? I think it was Sunday. What's today? Tuesday? That thing has 400 views already. That's a lot for me. I don't get a lot of action over on YouTube. because I don't really, I've started posting there more because, you know, Facebook is taking down all of our lives after 30 days. So that's no bueno. So I'll be doing a lot of lives with the new product, and I'll be posting them to my YouTube, okay? So I'll still be doing lives. They're not classes, they're just lives. And I'll post them to my YouTube as soon as we're done doing them. So my library of videos will be on YouTube from here on out. Here we go. See, now that's nice and thick. That's way thicker. So I'm going to get a paintbrush. Now what I've noticed with milk paint as well is that you're not really... Hi, Lori. Yeah, YouTube's nice, right? Because you can make it big on your TV. That's really nice. With milk paint, to me, it's more of a kind of glopping it on than it is painting and, you know, spreading it thin. Because when you spread it thin, I don't think it cracks as well. I'm still very, very new to milk paint, so I'm not expert by any stretch, but I'm having pretty good luck with it. Our friend Travis at Rooster Cottage has helped me a lot figuring out, like I send him pictures, it's like, well, why am I not getting cracking? And he would help me, so he's a lovely person. Here we go. So I'm just going to lay this on here. It's thick and kind of goopy, and that's okay. Shoot, we might need even more paint than I've made. So I am, you know, spreading it out with the brush, but as soon as it starts to drag, I go get more paint. And I'm not worried about total complete coverage because it's going to crack, right? So I'm not worried that much about it. Oh well, I didn't think that one through. I don't know. I guess, yeah, I guess I'll do this. I'm going to be holding this for a while. Oh, I need one more hand. Oh, there, that helped. So it's kind of thick. You can see it's pretty thick. I think we're going to get some very interesting crack. I hope it looks good. I've not had like blue-green crack come through on pink before, but in my head it looks beautiful. So we're going to see. Sorry, I know I'm getting out of camera frame. This isn't earth-shattering anyway. Scooping this on. Such a beautiful color. First Crush, it's called. They have several pinks to choose from, and I kind of had to go with my gut, and I chose wisely. This is really just that soft, pretty pink that we all like so much. Okay, I might have some little parts peeking through, but I'm not real concerned about that. Let's see. Okay. Now, I want to cover this because I'm going to do something else with the paint that's left over. So I'm going to cover it with some plastic. I don't want it to dry out. Okay. And now heat. Heat is what makes this stuff crack. So here we go. Closer. Oh yes, please. Look what's happening here. I'm gonna go with a low heat because what's happening, I have real high heat on and it's doing like a little wrinkly thing right there that I don't really like. So I'm gonna go with a lower heat and move slower, okay? So it might take us longer, but we won't get that puckery wrinkle thing that I don't really like, hopefully. Keep your heat moving, especially if you're using an embossing gun, because it's very, very hot. This new one that I just bought has two speeds on it, which I really like. I didn't know I wanted that until I got this. Getting real nice cracks here. It's not really cracking through to the blue too much, but I'll reserve judgment till I see what happens. If I dry the bottom, I can set it down because this is killing my fingers. Hold on, I just want to get the bottom dry and then I can set it down. I'm getting lots of nice cracking. The thicker you put it on, the bigger your cracks are. There, now we're getting some of that blue coming through. Can you see it? Really pretty. I'm going to see if I can press some of this wrinkly stuff out with my fingers. I don't know if I can. I think it's dry enough to sit down. Oh. Ugh. My poor finger was really tight. I'm not crazy about this wrinkly stuff. It looks like one of those hairless oriental cats. So I would prefer that not to be there. I don't know if it's because I'm trying to dry it too fast. Like I said, I'm kind of a novice at this, but I figure we can learn together. So I'm kind of being able to push some of that wrinkly stuff out. I don't know that it's the biggest deal. I can probably also sand it a bit, but we're going to put another layer of crackle on with this Tim Holtz stuff, so maybe we'll just cover those places with the Tim Holtz. So now I'm just continuing to apply heat so it cracks. Oh, her little face is cracking beautifully. I know you can't see it. I'll show you. This is not the most exciting part of doing this live, but it has to be done. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to mix some of the leftover paint with the Tim Holtz Crackle stuff, and we're going to put even more crackle on her in select places. All right, here we go. Now we're getting some good cracks. Oh, this is going to be so pretty with the transfer that I have in mind. So it's pulling away, and some of the um, underneath color is showing, but it's not really reading as red. It's just kind of coming through as a little bit darker, which is not a bad thing. So we've got some really nice cracking going on here. Now there you can see, but you know what? I can cover that with this other layer of crackle that we're going to do. Now, disclaimer, I don't know if this is going to work. I just don't know. I've not tried it yet. We're trying this together. This is us experimenting, okay? So this is Ranger Distress Crackle Paste in Opaque. And the thing about Opaque, it comes in transparent, which I've not bought yet, but I will. And then it comes in Opaque. And Opaque is usually okay because generally I'm using it on the flour sack paint or farmhouse linen mineral paint from Paint Couture. And so it's the same color. But I've noticed, like I did something with some Queen's Court Paint Couture, and it's a blue, and it came up a little milky. Not a bad look, but so I went online and I read a little bit, and turns out you can, they say, you can mix this with paint to change the color. So I've saved some of this paint. I'm going to make it just a little tiny bit more wet because, you know, the longer it sits, the thicker it gets. So I'm going to put a little bit more water in there. Again, don't know if this is going to work. Hope it does. Okay, so there I've got my milk paint. Kind of a looser situation. Let's get a plate to put it on. Okay, so here's my plate. Here's my I'm going to start with that much, and I'm going to add some of the paint to it, and I'm going to mix it up because I don't really want this to be white on my bird. So I don't know if it's going to work, to be honest with you. I'm having to kind of, this is quite thick, so I'm having to really press on it to get it to mix with the, and that's okay. It's making it quite thick. So again, no clue if this is going to work. So I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to, places where I've got this, I'm going to spread this on just like that. Any place that it looks like it might read like really red, I'm going to put this and this is like a smaller crackle than the milk paint. Big section here to cover. I'm trying to go gentle because I don't want to scrape any of my paint off. Anytime you paint over glass, even if you prime it, you know, you're rolling the dice, I think. Oh, look how pretty. Wait. Look. Yeah, that's beautiful. So I don't really have anything I want to cover right there, but I want to kind of have this a bit uniformly. Random but uniform. Does that make sense? And then we'll dry this and it'll crack and it'll look really cool. Hopefully, that's the plan. Again, a total experiment here. This is usually stuff I do by myself, but what the heck? I'm not afraid to make mistakes in front of you guys. Because that's how we learn, right? Whoops. And then the transfer can go right over stuff like this. It can go over crackled paint. It can go over, transfers can go over anything. All right, let's put a little bit on her face. Although, oh my goodness, her face turned out so pretty. Look how pretty her face is with that blue peeking through. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, blue hearts. You got that right, Regine. Okay, so just super random. I'm just putting, even the smallest amount of this stuff cracks real pretty. You all right, buddy? That's Oliver coughing. Poor Ollie. Okay, well, I used almost all of that up, so that's good. All right, and this too, you want to hit with some heat so it cracks. That has been my experience anyway. Set that down. So it looks like it's a little bit lighter than the rest, but I'm okay with that. Ah, Regine, you're welcome. Oliver, Regine says hi. So now I'm going to try to get this stuff to crack. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if it's going to crack mixed with milk paint because I've not tried it. It says that you can mix it with paint, but it didn't specify. Yeah, it's cracking. Hooray! I'm so happy. Hooray, hooray. Oh, we're getting some nice cracks here. I just want to show you, and what it's doing as well, and that's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's kind of lifting, it's really lifting stuff up, but see how it gets almost like a fine line crackle there? It's lifting, that whole thing is lifted. It's like a layer of paint, but you can seal this. You can seal it with your, I really like the way that looks. You can seal it with Mod Podge, or you can seal it with your satin top coat, or you can spray seal it, and you can get all those bits to lay down, okay? So it's not, I did do it, Faye, didn't I? Well, we're not done yet. Let's see, we're not done yet. Yeah, so this crackle paste that I put on here is really lifting up like whole layers, like down to what I base coated. So it's really pulling stuff away, but I'm okay with that because it's gonna, in the end, it's gonna work out for us, okay? I'm not concerned. See, look. Can you see how this cracks a little bit different? Hold on, I'm trying to get this to focus. You see how it cracks? Of course you don't. There we go. See how it cracks different? That's a different crack than the milk paint. The milk paint's kind of big like this. That's a different kind of crack. So it's good. Yeah, I like how it looks too. And we'll be able to seal it so it won't flake all off. I'm not the least bit concerned about that because we'll just seal it real good and push those pieces down. This looks amazing. Oh, when we put the transfer over it, wow, it's going to be gorgeous. Sorry. He's kind of mottled, isn't he? It's okay. I'm not worried about it. It will actually look nice with the transfer, I think. So this is two different things that I've used to get texture and crackle. One right on top of the other. See, it's really coming up now. And that's okay. I am not the least bit concerned about that. if you skipped that part, you could see that that before we put this, oh man, that's really coming up. Before we put this this on, it didn't lift up like that. So just note to self, you know, if that's going to make you anxious, don't do that. Just use the milk paint. I'm going to use Mod Podge because that's some pretty big cracks we got there that we need to lay. I mean, they look great, but we need to make that lay down, because if I grabbed that, I could peel that right off. We don't want that to happen. Hi, Sheila. Ranger Crackle one component. Look, there's a link, sweetheart. Lori, I put a link in the very first of the comments. It's Ranger Distress Crackle Paste in Opaque. I'm going to buy some transparent as well. Right now this is all I have, but I really like this. I'm not mad at that. I want to see if I can show you a little bit of it. I really can't. Sorry, I made something with it the other day, but it's got new product on it and I can't share it yet, so you'll have to wait. Okay, so I'm going to take this. I'm trying to think of what's the best way to apply it. I'm thinking a brush. Okay, and I'm going to put, this is Mod Podge. I'm going to seal it with Mod Podge, and then I might seal it again with satin, Pink Couture satin top coat. We'll just have to see how it goes, okay? This is all experiment right now. Not done this before, but I think we're in the right ballpark here. Okay, so I want to be really careful not to brush this back and forth, because I like that I could make that come right off. So what I want to do is kind of poke that in there and get some of that underneath and just kind of press it down, okay? I want that to hold. Now, even though it still looks a bit raised, this product has seeped underneath there, and when it dries, that piece will be stuck down. Does that make sense? You see, I'm kind of poking it in there where it's raised up, and then I can take my hand, be careful because it'll stick to your finger, and I can kind of lay it down. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I've got a lot here, and again, I'm just going to kind of try to get my little bristles to go behind that piece that's lifted up a lot, and then I'm just going to take my finger. I don't want to rub it too much, and I want to be really careful when I pull my finger away to make sure that that little flake is not coming off on my finger, okay? But now that's sealed, and when I'll babysit this, excuse me, a few minutes while we're on here, and I'll just go back and continue to press it down, okay? So look, see what happened? Not to worry. Got a big piece that came off on my finger. That's why you need to be really careful. I'm gonna get my little tweezers out that don't meet at the end. These are better. I'm going to grab that little piece and I'm going to put it right back where it was. That's what I'm talking about this stuff coming off on you. Now, Mod Podge dries clear, so you don't have to worry about that. So there, see, I've stuck it right back on, and it's okay. I might even come in with a thin brush and paint that in pink. I don't know. I have to see what it looks like. I'm going to put a coat of Mod Podge on this entire guy, okay? Because there's a lot of crusties on here that are sticking up, and I love it. Very, very happy with it. I don't want them to go anyplace. I don't want them to continue to kind of flake up. I don't want them to go away. Again, this dries clear, so it's not an issue. Let's get back here. We've got a lot. I mean, you can like kind of glop it on, which is what I'm doing here. A lot of glopping with Crackle, okay? And so the process maybe is not real pretty. The end result is pretty and totally worth your time, okay? Now look, I've got that all sealed and it looks like, oh my gosh, you know, it looks like white and stuff, but that will dry clear. okay? And then all those little pieces that want to kind of fly up in the air, they're not going to go anywhere. I come back with my finger and kind of tease them down a little bit. And I'm just going to coat the whole thing with Mod Podge. I could spray this, but the amount of lift that we're getting from that second component that we put on, I feel more secure with Mod Podge. Because Mod Podge is really very thick and it'll really hold things down really well. So while this is wet, I'm wanting to push down where those pieces want to kind of pull up. And of course when it dries, it'll hold everything down. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, so as it dries, I can go in and I can push it down even more with my fingers. That's working out beautifully. This is going to be so pretty. So this is going to be a two-parter because I want to use one of the new transfers from the summer Iron Orchid collection. Whoops. So I don't have a lot of places. I've got maybe 4 places that are really, really, really cracky and really kind of pulling away. But that's okay because we're going to seal them and they're not going to go anywhere. It'd be awful if I dropped it and it broke. That would be terrible. Look, we got a lot peeled up right there. You can see that kind of red color behind there. It was pretty, but it's not my cup of tea. But I can go with my brush and I can put some product in there, and then I can take, ooh, that's really, really flaky. That's okay. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna lay it down. Let that little piece come out. Press it with my fingers and just let that dry. It's amazing the things that you have to go through to make things look effortless. But it's worth it. And these are little, kind of like little secrets that you might not know. This is one that Travis taught me. And you know, if you didn't know this, you'd see everything lifting up and you'd think, oh, it's ruined. It's not ruined. On the other end, it's going to be fabulous. Okay, so I've got a piece that moved. Can you see it? So I'm going to grab it. It's right there, and I'm going to put it back. Press it down. Now this is very, very wet with Mod Podge, but when it dries, you know Mod Podge, I mean, it's like very, very sticky. It holds really well. It's basically glue. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. So note to self, maybe, just maybe, crackle paste over milk paint is not, I'm not going to say it's not a great idea, but as you can see, there's a lot of babysitting that you have to do with it, okay? But I know for a fact that the end result is going to be fabulous. I have no doubt about that whatsoever. But it's, you know, it's maybe more fussing than you want to do. The milk paint by itself is fabulous. You know, you could just milk paint and be done. But where's the fun in that? where's the challenge in that, you guys? Oh, I got some fabulous cracking on here. It's just so good. And I could take a little tiny eyeliner brush and I could go in, any place, like some of the places where that like red undercoat is, it just looks dark and it looks good. It doesn't read red. There's one or two places that it, like if you looked really close, it could kind of look red. And I might hit those with just a little thin amount of pink paint to camouflage that a little bit. I don't know, we'll see. This is gonna have to dry thoroughly before I decide what I'm gonna do with it. But I love the crustiness we have here. Very happy about it. Be careful pressing your fingers on it because the stuff has a tendency to want to stick to your finger when you pull it away. Oh, she's just really pretty. And I'm kind of filling in, like there's a big, that big crack area there. Yeah, Lori, I'm kind of digging it. Like, again, it's a lot of babysitting. It's a lot. And if you don't have the patience for this, it's probably not, not a method for you. But I got nothing but time. And I like to see different stuff, you're bored doing the same stuff all the time. So, if we can get like some really great texture like this, I'll invest the time. I don't mind. So again, I'm just going where it's really, really cracked and just almost, not glopping, but yeah, pretty much. I'm really trying to fill in that cracked area with Mod Podge. This one little piece wants to move. Give us some. But don't forget now, we're going to be putting a transfer over this. So if you have a part that you don't like, put a transfer over it. But I have a feeling we're going to love this. I have no doubt. Okay, so I think I've covered her completely with Mod Podge, and she looks really good. She's a little mottled, which is okay. Kind of speckly. But a bird wouldn't be all one color anyway. Let's put a little bit of heat on this stuff and see what it's going to do. So what happened, because it got a little bit lighter, is the opaque is light itself, and it's not see-through. If you did this with translucent, you wouldn't have the difference in tone. But if you didn't mix it with the pink paint, it would be really, like those spots here where we put the crackle would be white and would be very, very noticeable. I have my heat on low because I don't want to disturb stuff. I don't want stuff to start cracking again, which I don't think it will. I think right now we're just kind of getting stuff to lay down. So I'm very careful about this, but I am pressing these parts that want to kind of, like you can see back in there, that's kind of like raised up. Like if I ran my finger across there, that would flake off. But I've put Mod Podge behind there. Look, you can see it squirting out a little bit. See it? So I'm going to take my finger. I'm going to be very careful when I pull my finger away. What I want to do is kind of seal that a little. Very careful when I pull my finger away. So I want to make that little piece that's standing up there, and that worked perfectly. I want it to lay into the Mod Podge. Now it's not. See that? So any place that I have those big cracks, I'm going around with my finger and I'm pressing, and when I pull my finger away, I'm being very careful because I don't want to pull that piece that wants to flake. I don't want to pull that off of there. I want it to lay down into the Mod Podge. Oh, this is working great. I'm so happy with this. Look how fabulous that is. With the transfer on it, it's just going to be just a little breath of springtime. This guy is my nemesis. See how high up it's sticking? There is Mod Podge behind there. You can see it oozing out. I'm going to lay my finger on there. I might be asking for trouble, but... Ah, so it was dry enough for me to put my finger on there and really press it down, and then very, very slowly pull your finger away so it doesn't stick to your finger. Okay, there, that worked really well. So see, even though it looked like, oh gosh, you know, that's not gonna, those aren't gonna lay down. They do lay down. You just have to coat them with something. On this, because it was so raised up, I think that, oh, I love her. I think that Mod Podge was the way to go. And what I'll do when she's completely dry is I'll seal her with my Pink Couture Top Coat Satin. I'll seal the whole thing so it's sealed all the way around evenly, okay? Now, here's what I was talking about perhaps going in where, like the thinnest brush that you have. I don't know that this is going to be a thing, but I'm going to try it. Get some of this milk paint that's still wet. I don't know if I want to do this, so I'd like to try it on a part that doesn't really show that much. There isn't a part that doesn't really show so much. I'll just do it right here on her back. Okay, so if you can see, there's some, see that shine there? That's that red, real first coat. And if I take this milk paint and put that in there, this is a fussy piece to do, you guys, but to me it's going to be worth it. Now that shine is gone. Do you see that? So any place that I'll probably go on the whole thing, because I really don't like that red showing through. You know, maybe nobody else will see it but me, but I know it's there and I don't like it. So I just kind of pattern this into those cracks. So you see here where you can see a little bit of that shine. I'm just going to come and I'm going to pat this real thin brush and just, you know, pull it out so it doesn't look, you know, patched. Pull your paint out, and now that's gone. You still have the crack, but it doesn't read shiny, you know. Look, we got a big one there that we can fix. This guy right here. So I'm just trying to keep it pretty much where it's cracked and where it's showing through kind of red. I don't want that at all. Oh, this is working really well. I'm going to just kind of brush it out so it doesn't look so patched like that. So look, now that red shine is all gone. So very fussy. This is a very fussy thing to do, but you know, I kind of like it. I like doing things that, like, I've not done anything quite like this before, and I've learned a couple of things doing this, and that's always a win, right? It does look pretty good, doesn't it, Regine? I'm pretty happy. So here I've got more real red. I'm going to come in with just the tip of this, and I'm going to lay some paint down in there. It's not taking the crack away. It's just taking that red shiny bit away, which we don't want. Still very cracky. Lots and lots of cracking there. See, it's still cracked, but you don't see the red as much, or at all, really. Tuck it up under those little pieces. Kind of scribble it out like this so it doesn't look patched. You know, because this paint that I'm using is a bit of a different color than the body of her. Yeah, that's working out good. And then the transfer is going to hide a lot of, I would say, sins, but I don't really think that we have a lot of sins here. I don't think that this is, thank you, whoever bought something. I don't think this is, I might even take my finger and go like this to make that paint kind of Yeah, this looks good. I'm gonna call this a win, you guys. So any place I see that shine from that underneath first coat that this was, I'm just putting a little bit of this chalk paint that I left nice and wet, and it's not taking away my crack. And I've still got some of the blue. Oh, beautiful blue. I'm so happy. You know, and I struggled with that. I thought, is that the right thing to do? Have blue crack come out. I've never really seen blue crackle, but I thought, you know what? The whole thing's an experiment, so go ahead and try it. So I did try it, and I'm glad I did, because yay. Looks fabulous. Look at that blue. It's so pretty. So this is mega time consuming, but it's got to be done. And you can see after I put it on, I kind of do this so it doesn't look quite so patched, okay? So over here where we had some shiny stuff, right up in here, pretty much all gone. You can go back and look and see if there's, you know, anything that you need to touch up again. I've decided that I don't want any of that dark to show through. I want it to be all pink and blue, which I think is just fabulous. I've still got a little bit of stuff I have to do down here. It really shows up nice on the camera. Because you get kind of like that shine, you know? So there, I've covered that all up, and I'm coming back with my finger to kind of mute it out a little bit so it doesn't look quite so patched up. And now that shine is gone. Fabulous. This was really shiny, and now it's not. Got a lot of hello, got a lot of shine going on down here. So I'm just going to lay some of that paint in there, just like that. Cover up that red. It's not getting rid of the crack. It's just getting rid of that red color. And then I'm just going to come and tap back over it with my finger to kind of mute it out so it doesn't leave a spot. Because it's a different color, you know. And then all that red is gone. Fabulous. I'm very happy about this, you guys. Yeah, nice. Very nice. And after it dries, it might try to peek through again, and that's why I'm just kind of going back, you know. I could turn the camera off because we're not doing anything real new. You know, I've already shown you the technique, so I could turn the camera off, but I'm going to sit out here and do this anyway, so I might as well leave it on. Yeah, see, so now all that shiny is gone, and when that paint dries, it's got a little bit of shine because it's wet. When that paint dries, oh, this is just going to be so crusty and fabulous. Hold on. I'll get some close-ups and post pictures, you guys. Yeah, this is going to be really good. Very nice. Kind of putting a little bit of, kind of putting a little bit of paint, because what I can see is I can see like a shape where I put that paint. So I'm just taking some of the paint and moving it out onto other parts so it doesn't, so you can't really see a line of demarcation. Does that make sense? So now that kind of horseshoe kind of look is gone. And once we seal the whole thing, that'll also take care of some of that. So this looks really good. This side that had all that shiny stuff showing through, I still see a little bit right there. So I'm just going to go and touch that. the tip of this real fine little brush, push that down on there. I cannot wait to put the transfer on this. I just can't wait. It's going to be fabulous. Really, look at that blue. Oh, it's pretty. Still got a lot of... Did we even do this side? I don't think we even did this side, did we? And then I want to kind of scrub the paint out a little bit so it doesn't look like I've patched a part, you know. So see, that shiny's all gone. I guess we didn't do this side. Or we did, but when it dries, it still needs another coat. And that's okay. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those things that that really works, and it's just like, on this day I decided to try this. If I'd tried this on another day, it might not have worked. You know, like moment in time kind of stuff, you know. But I feel like it's really working for us. This thing is going to be fabulous. I'm torn between two different transfers. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do. I have two in mind. I'll have to hold it up to the transfer and see which one says, "Pick me, pick me." So this one, this we've already gone over. We're going to go over it again because it's quite, it needs a couple of coats. It was quite a big, it wasn't even a crack. I mean, the whole piece was just lifting right off. I know I've done some of this, and I keep turning it around, and I still see dark, but you know, that's, I guess, just what you're going to have to do. Now listen, if you were lucky enough to find like a wood bird, you wouldn't have this problem because the underneath wouldn't be like fire engine red. This thing was red, you guys, like with gold, like marbled going through it, you know. I wish I'd have taken a picture, but I got excited and I didn't. So I'm just filling in the parts that read a little bit red to me, and then I'm going to come out and kind of scrub around with my brush so it doesn't look like I've put a spot of paint there, you know. And now his whole, like, look right here, it looks like the paint is a different color. I'm going to come back in and I'm going to go like this all the way around and pull that color out onto the rest of the bird, and then it won't look like a, the transfer is going to cover a lot of this, but whereas he had like big spots where the Ranger opaque stuff went, we're getting rid of a lot of that. Just by kind of, you know, moving the paint around a little bit, the milk paint. So any place I see that red coming through, and it's not coming through in a lot of places. It's coming through in a few places. Most places are coming through in that beautiful blue, which would be amazing if that's all that came through, but that's all right. We'll make it work. Because as I go over this, you're thinking, oh, she's covering the cracks. It's really not covering the cracks at all. It's covering that red underneath, but I still have all that. I still have all the texture and all the cracking. You see that? Still lots and lots of that left over. Oh, she's so pretty. And then I just kind of pat that color all the way out so it doesn't leave a spot. Whoa. I didn't plan that. Look, there's a little bit of blue on her eye. kind of like that. Okay, I think that I've fussed with this enough. I'm pretty, oh, look at all that gorgeous texture on her tail. So we don't have a lot of places, still a little bit here. This one's being a little tough, but that's okay. Just kind of lay some paint in there, let it dry. Really, really good. Good stuff, you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna say goodbye. I'll probably still fuss with her a little bit more, but you get the drift, right? Do not give up, you know? Like, I might have given up on this a year ago, but I know, well, 2 years ago, I know that just because something doesn't look great when you start out, or if something does something that you're not expecting, like I didn't know that this Ranger product was going to pull the whole layer of milk paint up. I did not know that was going to happen. And you know, I could have been like, oh darn, you know, it's a fail. But I didn't let that get in my head. I just pivot and do something else. And now what we've got is even more texture than we bargained for, which is fabulous. It's going to look so pretty with that transfer on it. Can't wait. I just absolutely love her. And I might even give her like a little coat of farmhouse linen, like a dry brush. I don't know yet. I might do that. I don't know. But look, now all of that shiny red stuff is gone. She looks amazing. She's, oh, look. No! What is that? You guys, actually that doesn't really read red, so I think I'm going to leave it. Yeah, I don't see any red there. Do you see shiny red like in the camera? No, it's just a crack, so I'm not going to worry about that, okay? I'm going to fill that in a little bit more. We have amazing texture on this little girl. She needs a name. Flora. Let's name her Flora. Okay, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me on May 22nd, which is in 2 days. It's a Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. The oolalashop.com will be open for business with all of the summer collection from Iron Orchid. You can type 2025 into the search. They'll all be in a category as well, but if you just want to cut to the chase, you can type 2025 into the search and everything will come up together because I've put that in the title. And don't overdo it on Thursday. Regine, here's the thing. I got so lucky. My husband's off on Thursdays and Fridays. So, and he's the packing machine. If you get something that comes to you and it's like, geez, did a professional do this? My husband is like, he actually spends too much time. It's like, babe, put it in a box, make sure it's not going to get crumbled or, you know, damaged, and tape it up. You know, he goes over and beyond, but he's got a little bit of OCD going on, which really works out for me most of the time because he's very, very detail oriented, and like he builds, he does a lot of, he can build anything, he can do anything but cook. He cannot cook. But anything that you want to do with a house, like we've rebuilt a house before, and I mean, he can just do anything, but he's very, very detail oriented, and of course he sees like all his mistakes and he's really hard on himself, and it's like, to me it's like fabulous. It's like, I couldn't do it, just leave it alone. But no, he just goes on and on, you know. But I guess, you know, if you're like that, that stuff would really bother you. You know, it doesn't bother me. Like almost good is is good enough for me. But yeah. Linda, let's talk about that since you brought it up. I'm going to be doing a lot of lives with the new products, and then those lives will be posted to my YouTube channel, okay? The class with purchase thing, I'm going to be doing classes, but they're going to be available for everybody. So the class with purchase thing, we have to put that on pause, this release, because I don't know what Facebook is going to do. I don't know if they're going to start charging me for lives. I don't know. I know that after 30 days, those are going to disappear. And let's say I do anywhere from 8 to 10 classes with a release. If those disappear in 30 days, you guys can't get to all that in 30 days. I mean, if you could, good for you, but I'm pretty sure you can't do 10 projects in 30 days. So putting them up there and going to all the trouble of creating a class and inviting everybody is kind of pointless if they're just going to take it down after 30 days. I think that I could just reload the video if I saved it, but I don't know that for sure. So I'm dealing with a lot of unknowns this time around, and so I can't promise you things that I don't know if I can deliver on it or not. So this time around, we're going to do classes that everyone will be able to see, and I'll put them on my YouTube, and that's just the way we're going to do it. Now, our next release will be Christmas. We'll see what Facebook decided. If they decided that, you know, I don't have to pay for lives, and I you know, see that that's a thing, then maybe we'll do free classes, you know, because I love the classes. I do. I love doing the classes. We can do so much more in a class, because I can do 4 or 5, you know, parts to that, you know, and so I do love the classes. I love doing that, but it doesn't make any sense for me to do them if you guys can't get to them all before they disappear. And I don't know if I can load them back up or not. There's just so many unknowns right now, Linda, that I have to just kind of step back on this release and see where Facebook is going to come down on this whole live situation. And two, if I have to start paying for lives, then that's something I have to factor into my business, you know. So thank you for asking, Linda. That's the deal. I'm still going to be offering lots and lots and lots of ideas, and you know, I'll be using the products, and you know, you'll be able to see that, but everybody will be able to see that, and they won't be quite as involved as our classes. Like there won't be, you know, supply lists and stuff like that, you know. It'll just be a regular live. So I hope that you guys will stick with me through this release, and then we'll see what the Christmas release, perhaps we can get back to our old bag of tricks, okay? So thanks for asking, Linda. Take your class any way you can get it. Okay, Linda. And Linda's very prolific as well. She makes a lot of stuff. So that's it for me today, you guys. Oh, Flora turned out beautiful. I'll take some close-up pictures of the beautiful, beautiful, look, I mean, we just got such great, great texture. Look at all that texture. It's a little shiny because of the, there. It's a little shiny because of the Mod Podge, and that's why I'm going to put a coat of top coat satin, because it'll have a little gleam to it, but it won't be that shiny glossy. Okay, so I'm going to put a coat of that, and then I'll take pictures and put them up. Thanks for being here. Love you all bunches. I'll see you on Thursday. So I probably won't be doing any classes for easily a week while I pack and ship. You know, I send out hundreds of packages, and I'm very, very grateful for that, believe me. Very grateful. But it's a lot. It's a tremendous amount of work and a tremendous responsibility, and I thank you all for trusting me enough. Okay. Ladybugs, I'm out. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.